artists, we're going to be starting our abstract complementary color art project today. And I want you to notice that I'm going to go ahead and I am just drawing some little loop-de-loos and just crazy lines. I'm just kind of letting my pencil go where it wants to go today. I'm not scribbling and I'm leaving these lines kind of open, and I'm creating a lot of kind of open big shapes right here. Again, I'm not getting my lines too tight or too close together, and you can kind of see the path that I'm going. I'm not picking my pencil up at all, so this is technically a one-liner. One-liner means all one line. And I'm going to be speeding this video up, but I want you to see the pace that I'm going right now. I'm not going too fast. I'm just taking my time and letting it flow. And notice right here, I'm actually going to bring my first line back, see where I started, and I'm just going to hook that together like so. So here we are, one line, loop-de-loos, loose and flowing, kind of organic. Now I'm going to take my black crayon right here. Now you could make it a dark gray or brown if you would like to, but you want it to be a nice dark color. And I'm going to very carefully start to go over all of my lines. This is going to take a few minutes and it's going to be absolutely worth it. One thing I also want you to notice is that in some places, if you want to, you can increase the thickness of this line. So what I mean by that, right here, I could just kind of do an extra little curvy line right there, and all of a sudden that becomes a lot thicker and a little bit more weighted right there. And so you can see the difference right there. I'm going to actually bring these together. Okay, now where I see some extra pencil lines in here, rather than getting my eraser out, I might take it as an opportunity to make the weight of that line a little bit thicker. So again, just like I showed you right there, I'm just going to make this a little bit thicker, and that's just going to kind of cover up some of my extra pencil lines and also just give a nice little variety of weights in there. Guys, I'm also pressing down so that we can do that crayon resist when it gets to adding our colors in the next step. All right, you're going to notice that I've added a bunch of green paint to a lot of the different shapes in my composition. Now I've been using the tippy tip of my paintbrush with a lot of water like so, and just been nice and gently adding the paint to different shapes. The nice thing is when I have been hitting that crayon line, that crayon has been pushing that paint off, saying, get off of me. In fact, I could even paint right over right here, and look, that crayon is just pushing that paint right off. Now, since we're using complementary colors, and I've started with green, I'm gonna get out my little handy dandy color wheel. So I've got my green going on right now, love my green. Where am I going to go? I'm going to go straight across and I'm going to find red. So red is the complementary color of green. Now, I like to think about complementary colors. They complement one another. They look good together. So I'm going across to my red, and I know that I've got to add red next. Now, what if you are starting with purple or violet and that's just your favorite color and you want to use that? Where would you go to find the complementary color? You'd go straight across and you'd find it at yellow. Same thing, if you start with orange, you just love orange, you go straight across and find your complementary color at blue. So I've gotten my green added in. I actually want to leave a lot of white space in my composition. I want to have a lot of empty space. I think that's going to be really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and get that red activated now. Now every time my paintbrush leaves the screen, I'm dipping it in the water and I'm turning a nice little circle in that red, gentle, just tickling that paint. I want to use a lot of water and a lot of pigment. So now I'm going to go ahead and start to add in my red, tippy tip of that paintbrush. And I am just selecting different shapes I want to add my red to. There's really no rhyme or reason. I'm just kind of spreading it out. And again, I am going to be leaving a lot of white empty space as well. Look right here. Actually, my crayon is having a hard time pushing that paint off right there. And I know I've got the crayon pressed hard enough, and I know that I've got my water and my paint nice, the right thickness, but I'm glad that happened so you can see. Sometimes when that happens, I just get maybe a little bit too much water in there, a little bit too much paint. I just take my little paper towel and I dab it on there, and I let it soak up for a second. Whoop. And there we go. And suddenly you can start to see that line once again. And I'm going to do it one more time. There we go. It's just a nice little problem solving tool. Okay guys, I'm going to stop right there because I kind of like the way it looks. I don't want to do too much color. A couple things to note. I was able to put wet paint right next to wet paint in several places because that crayon is actually kind of separating out those sections. So as long as you're pretty careful in particular, you can definitely put the wet paint next to wet paint without it kind of blending and bleeding together. Now right there, I accidentally splashed a little bit of the red paint into that green, and the funny thing is, right there it looks like a shadow. It looks pretty cool. I consider that a happy accident. So when you mix the two complementary colors together, kind of a brownish, grayish, blackish color results, and it can actually be pretty cool if that's what you want. And actually I like how that happens, but I'm glad that that happened so we could talk about it. Thanks for watching.